Hey y'all, it's your girl Missniecytv, and I'm here to do a review for Sistas Season 6, Episode 9. The episode starts off with Fatima in the house, and Karen's like, "Did you just walk up in my house?" Andi's like, "Fatima, you need to go. This is wrong." Fatima's like, "I'm gonna go once I say what I have to say." Then Karen's like, "B, get out my house, get out my house." Fatima's like, "This is what happens when you leave the door open and unlocked. So it was an open invitation for me to come in." Karen's like, "She just walked up in here like she paid rent." Fatima's like, "If I paid rent, trust me, baby, your house would be looking a whole lot nicer than this." I'm like, "Fatima, you did not have to eat the girls up like that." Karen's only comeback was, "Don't you sleep with your coworkers?" Fatima's like, "No, that's Andi. Actually, ain't that what all y'all do?" Karen couldn't take the heat no more, so she kept telling her, "Get out, get out, get out." Fatima's like, "Put me out." Karen's like, "Put you out?" She's like, "Yeah." And then that's when Zach walks in. Andi's like, "Fatima, I'm your boss." Fatima's like, "Yeah, from 9 to 5. Andi's like, "You make a valid point." And I'm like, "Andi, if you want to be technical, Fatima is the reason you still have your job. Because if it wasn't for her, you'd be fired. Get this be out my house, get this be out my house." Like, girl, you haven't seen Fatima's crazy. So they can't do nothing with her, even if they tried to. It'd be an unfair match. Zach shows up in the midst of the argument, and Fatima's like, "Are you surprised?" Zach's like, "I knew you was up to something." Fatima's like, "You supposed to be asleep. I put it on you real good. You were supposed to be out all night." And when she said that, Karen's eyes rolled so hard. I'm like, "Baby, I feel sorry for you." Fatima was like, "The only thing that's sparing you right now is that baby." Fatima's like, "And we don't even know whose baby that is." Karen's like, "Oh, really?" Then she slams the envelope into Zach's chest. And Fatima's like, "Baby, don't do that. Don't do that, because I will whoop you." It's like, keep stepping up, and I'll show you crazy for real. This ain't what you want. This ain't what you want. I'm like, "Baby, you right. That ain't what Karen want. Because you're crazy will lead somebody to be in the morgue." Somebody call Miss Lisa. And keep screaming to Zach, "Open the envelope, open it up. Why you ain't open it? Zach's like, "I'm not opening that." It's like, "Why not? Don't you want to see about your second child?" Karen, how could you prove if that's his child when you didn't even get his DNA? Make that make sense, please. Like, I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to make me lose his baby. But Tim was like, "No. What I'm trying to do is get you to leave my man alone." Karen's like, "I'm not going to do that, and I'll never stop, because your man is the father of my child." She keeps begging Zach to open the envelope, open the envelope. And then Karen's like, "Tell her how much you love me. Tell her what happened at the coffee shop and how your privates was hard under the table and how we went to the bathroom and had sex." Zach said, "You lying. And don't try to make her think that it was someone." He's like, "That happened 3 years ago. I don't know why you're trying to bring it up now." Karen, you're just trying every trick that you have in your hat, and it's not working. So stop, please. You're embarrassing yourself. You need to go see a psychiatrist for real, baby, because this is not a good look for you. And Aaron shows up, and I'm like, "Oh, Lord, this is about to get even worse." So he shows up, like, "Karen, are you okay?" Karen looks at him and rolls her eyes in major disgust. And he tells Zach, "I think you need to go." And then Fatima steps up, like, "You ain't talking to my man like that, because I will beat you up." Fatima and Zach are leaving. Karen is shouting, "Zach, you're a coward, and that's what you always will be." But I'm like, "Karen, weren't you just trying to sleep with him? Weren't you just telling him that you want him to make love to you? You want him inside of you and on top of you? But you calling him a coward now because you ain't get what you want? And you just made a whole scene and full of yourself for no reason?" Help me help you so we can all help you as a collective. Cause you're not making any sense. Aaron leaves, and then that's when Karen starts yelling at Andi like, you didn't try to help. You're the one that let her in here. Andy's like, no, I didn't. Karen's delusional, demented self says, you gotta choose. Either it's me or it's her. And if I was Andi, I would have straight up told her, it's Fatima, because the way you acting right now, you ain't got no sense. And you're saying I'm a bad friend and I let her in here knowing darn well that I did. But it's not just that. Fatima has been more of a reliable friend and a understanding friend than you have right now. But I would want Andi to choose Fatima anyway. Screaming at the girls to get out, get out, get out. And Danny's like, we ain't going nowhere. Y'all walked up in my house and talked a whole bunch of stuff to me, which no, they didn't. They did it out of love. And I had to leave my house, so you're going to sit down and listen. Karen's like, no, I'm not. So she leaves the room. Danny sees the envelope and she picks it up. Andy's like, don't open it, don't open it. And he says, I'm opening this envelope. So Danny opens the envelope. She opens the envelope. She puts it back down. They're like, the girls are like, what does it say? And Danny's like, it doesn't say nothing, it's blank. So Sabrina was like, she's bluffing? I'm like, Karen, now what would it made any sense if Zach were to open it in front of people? He would have just embarrassed you. He would have let it be known that it'd be blank and you were bluffing. Then that's when Fatima would have really... Because ain't no reason you had to bluff and lie like that. You were just trying to prove a point that Zach will do anything you say. And did it work? No. Everybody outside and the girls asked Zach, what is he still doing here? They're like, are you going to go back inside? Because that's the only reason that it would make sense. Zach is like, no. I'm outside to make sure that Fatima doesn't double back because of all that stuff that Karen was saying to her. And she's very liable to do that. And then Aaron opens his mouth, says, I'm not going anywhere as long as he's still here. Then Andi leaves because she's over, and Danny leaves because she has a date with Preston. It was just Sabrina with Zach and Aaron outside. Aaron says, so you're the father. Zach goes, I'll find out if I'm the father when I'm ready. Aaron's like, I know you're not going to deny the child. I know you have a lot of other kids running around here. Then Zach's like, when, Aaron, have you took care of your children? Zach notices that Aaron's been drinking because Aaron got all up in Zach's face. Zach's like, you ain't supposed to be drinking, you on the wagon. And Zach leaves because he got a notification from Fatima that she's home, so he leaves. And so it's just Aaron and Sabrina outside. Sabrina's like, have you been drinking? Aaron's like, yeah, I only had one drink. Sabrina's like, Karen doesn't need this right now. Aaron's like, I love Karen. Aaron, you and Karen deserve each other. Because neither of the people that y'all trying to deal with want y'all. You want Karen, and she wants Zach, but it ain't gonna happen. Well, y'all need to do something because it ain't working. Sabrina gets Aaron's number and she lets him know that she'll call him and tell him that Karen is safe and she alright. Sabrina goes back up to Karen to talk to her. She notices the door wide open, and she says, why is the door wide open? And Karen's like, I'm waiting for her to come back. We notice that Karen has her piece, waiting for Fatima to come back just so she could shoot her. I'm like, girl, this is not what you want. And if Fatima were to come back, which she ain't, she would not be coming by herself. Then you would be getting a whole lot more trouble than you asked for. Brenda asked Karen, why is she doing this? Karen's like, I'm doing this because you seen the way that he came for me at the salon. He really thought that I was going to die, and he showed so much love. And now he doesn't want nothing to do with me? Then Karen's crazy, delusional, demented self says, I know what he doing. He trying to gaslight me. He tried to make me crazy. he took me back to the place where we had our date, and he was showing me so much love, and he was trying to gaslight me. Sabrina's like, that is not what he's doing. And she's like, that is not Zach's intent. He would never do that. And I'm like, Karen, do you know how crazy you sound? I need you to get prescribed some psychiatric meds. Because the way you going, you're in your own little world. And you need to come out of it quickly. Pam shows up to see if Karen alright. Sabrina like, yeah, she alright. I'll tell her to call you. And that was the end of that. At Maurice and Calvin's talking to Maurice about the whole case with Sabrina. Now, Sabrina ain't have nothing to do with it. And he shouldn't have put her in it. Maurice finally realizes that Sabrina is the sweetest person and kindest person that he knows. And he shouldn't have put her in this situation. He still says that he's going to get killed though. But then he says, I'm going to go talk to the police officer and see if I can work something out. Zach and Fatima's house. Zach tells Fatima that she's wrong for walking up in Karen's house like that because she carries a gun. And Fatima's like, and I carry one too. Zach is like, you don't hate her. Fatima's like, no, I don't hate her. I just had to show her that when I set boundaries and you cross them all BS gonna break loose. And I'm like, Fatima, yeah, you're right. Zach was like, well, what if she would have came over here? Fatima's like, you really want to say that? She's been over here. Fatima's like, I really would have loved if she would have come over here today though. Because I really would have showed her something. Zach is like, you can't do that. You was wrong. You can't be going up in her house like that. Fatima's like, all right. She listens. And then Zach is like to bed. Fatima's like, I am calm. Then Zach is like, no, you're not. Zach proceeds to go upstairs and then he realizes. He's like, where are you going? Fatima's like, I'm going to sit down here. And then Zach pulls out the chair and sits down here. And he's like, where your purse at? Then we have Hayden calling Gary about the annulment and if he got the annulment and if he's going to sign papers and all that other stuff. Hayden's like, yeah, I signed the papers, but I don't know how I'm going to tell her. Gary's like, just tell her. Hayden's like, what did I call you for advice for? Gary's like, if I give you advice, you're not going to take it anyway, so there was no point in calling me. He then pulls up to the house and he is greeted by Tamara and Tamara. And he goes, baby, we need to talk. Tamara's about what? Hayden's like, about the annulment. Tamara's like, what is that? Hayden's like, since we haven't been married that long, we can go ahead and get the marriage dissolved. Tamara's like, I don't want to do that. I like being married to you. Hayden's like, we haven't even known each other that long. Tamara's like, so I enjoy being your wife. Tamara's like, since you don't want to be married to me, I'll be moving out in the morning. Hayden's like, I don't want that though. And I'm like, oh, Hayden, she about to take you for everything you've got for real. Get to the date with Preston and Danny, and it really wasn't a date because all they ended up talking about was Zach and how he noticed that Zach was looking at Karen the day of the fire and how you shouldn't have been doing that because Fatima was standing there. I'm like, did y'all really go on a date to talk about Zach? Y'all supposed to be working on y'all relationship. But y'all steady talking about somebody else instead of working on. Brenda gets home and she's calling Andi to let her know that she made it home and how Karen was acting. And my thing is, Andi, why are you telling Sabrina to talk to Karen? Why can't you ever stand up for yourself when it comes to Karen, but you can stand up for yourself when it comes to Gary? Are you scared of Karen or something? I really would like to know. Because there's no reason that you as a grown woman should have somebody else talking to her about your feelings, about how you feel about her. You need to grow up and set Karen straight. He tells Sabrina that she can't come over because Gary is about to come over. And she asks Gary, does he want to have sex with her? He says no, which is very surprising, and I'm proud that he did it. Andi is like, why? He's like, I can see that you're in a very strange headspace right now, and I don't want to do that. Andy's like, so you don't want to have sex with me? Then Gary's like, well, I don't know. I'm close to my 40s. I'm in my 40s, and I don't know if the man that I love is cheating on me. And I'm like, Andi, you just told that man that he was just sex. Now you saying you love him? Make that make sense. But I'm glad that Gary stood 10 toes on his decision. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode. If you guys think Fatima is right or wrong in this situation, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.